we went into Marks and Spencer's. I went with my dad, he had an umbrella that he was walking with, this umbrella. And he came in and he said to the shops, this really loud voice, "I'd like an extremely large bra for this child." Hello and welcome to Seriously with Sarah Beeny. Let's face it, having open and honest conversations with your family isn't always easy. But on this podcast, that's exactly what we're going to do. So the boys did a really big gig on Thursday, which it was sold out, Comedian in Bath, which was great.
I totally didn't know that it was.
There were a lot of really cool people who came to watch, and there was a little bit of screaming and quite a lot of singing their songs back. So they've got ideas way above their station at the moment, down to earth.
So tired I didn't even have time to fix this bad hair day that's going on. It's terrible.
Exhausting.
And it's going to be put on your Instagram that I've got
Can I
the
just
bad
say
hair
this
day.
as well? Before it, I made Charlie cut my hair. That's why my hair's looking so bad as well.
It is quite short.
Char cut it in the bathroom
You haven't styled it.
with a pair of kitchen scissors. It's unstylable, this haircut, Char.
I used to cut your hair when you were young. I was terribly good at it.
I remember vividly. Do you not remember when you got dog clippers and you were so excited about them?
Oh, that was quite
And
exciting.
you went, Billy, come upstairs. I ran up the stairs. Mum had just got some clippers. She was really excited to use them.
It was those ones, you know, those buzzy ones, those clippy things.
It was
And I
was the shavers for the dog.
She couldn't be bothered to take me to go and get a haircut. So she bought the clippers that were clearly dog clippers because they had a dog on the side of them. And she went, right, what I'm just going to do is I'm going to put them on the long thing and then I'm going to go all around your hair and you're going to look like you've had a pretty terrible haircut from your mother.
No.
Instead, she forgot to put the guard on it and she just went straight on the back of my head, shaved down right to the skin. And then I just heard her from behind me go, oh,
Anyway, I just want to say I'm really sorry about the dog clippers.
No, that's fine. It's fine. I got my revenge.
I know. Well, did you?
We cut all of your hair off.
Oh, you did actually? Years later?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
finally.
Yeah.
Yes, that was a good moment. You cutting my hair off.
Yeah, I didn't feel...
It was quite cold.
What's quite funny is it didn't feel like a full circle revenge moment at the time. Because you obviously were cutting your hair off because you had cancer.
Yes,
So it
the
was-
chemo hair fallout.
So it wasn't exactly like it was like...
Ha.
It was, I got you.
Yeah.
You thought this was never going to happen.
In this week's episode of Seriously, we're talking about grief and loss and robot girlfriends. And we take a seriously spooky listener question.
What was your experience with grief and loss? You know, did it happen in stages or was it all kind of at once or did it...
No, I didn't really have any idea. So my mum died when I was 10, as you know. She had breast cancer, which then went to her brain. And in those days... I don't know whether it was what you did or why they didn't tell us, but they didn't really talk about her being ill. Like, I suppose I sort of...
You were young though. You were what, nine?
Yeah, I was 4 when she was diagnosed and then
how
10
could-
when she died.
How could you have like... I look at myself at 10. I probably wouldn't have been able to contemplate anything going on. It would have been later. I think it would have been...
Yeah,
I remember
it was.
you having a conversation with me where it was like, suddenly you turn to 16 and you go, oh wait, hold on. You contemplate it for the first time and you're like, oh wait, hold on. I mean, I always knew that I didn't have it, but now
Was it a big milestone?
Now I'm understanding it, and then you get hit with another kind of level of it. And you're
Was
like,
it amazing watching Billy turn 11? Or did that not really cross your mind?
Not as much as... So my mum was 39 when she died. And when I turned 40, I had a bit of a kind of overwhelming, like... So I wouldn't say breakdown because it wasn't quite that, but I didn't know what you do at 40. Like I've got no, I just didn't imagine I'd get to 40, and because she died at 39, and so I think I thought I've got to pack everything in because my role model had died at 39, and so when I got to 40, I was a bit like, whoa, I'm still here.
And so you said you had kind of like a breakdown at 40. What kind of? But it wasn't a breakdown. What was it?
It was, I guess it wasn't, I just sort of had a rethink and a relook at my life and thinking, well, what do I do now? I'm not quite sure what I'm meant to do now. I packed a lot in before I was 40 because I wanted to, I had a business, I had a career, I got married, I got 4 children, I had a home, I kind of done loads of stuff.
You've done everything. Yes.
And then I was like, well, now what happens? Like now I got to 40, I was like, oh, it felt like I hadn't got a rule book for the next bit of my life.
Yeah.
But it was fine after a few months, but I did sort of think, and also it was very real, the fact she died, because I looked at you guys who were little and it made me feel really sad, because the thought of not seeing you anymore, which is what she had to face, that's really sad.
Yeah, well, you were kind of in her shoes for the...
Yeah.
And can I just ask, what was the biggest thing that affected you not having a mother through your teenage years?
I don't know, because I didn't know the opposite.
Were there moments where, like, you look back now and you go, if I had had a mother to help me through that moment of my teenage years, then I would have...
It probably makes you very
better.
resilient. And it makes you very grateful. I think I always felt unbelievably grateful and unbelievably fortunate for having what I had.
Yeah.
And I guess that's the biggest thing in my life, that I feel incredibly grateful, and gratitude. That's what losing your mother does. It makes you grateful for what you've got.
Yeah.
And I guess so I was very grateful to have my dad, and grateful to have my brother, and grateful for opportunities. I guess probably there were moments where I probably would have talked about, I don't know whether I would have done or not, about things. I was very independent, incredibly independent, but
you didn't feel isolated by the fact that it was just your dad and your brother, and there wasn't a girl there to kind of teach you how you do, because I mean, there's massive changes that come after the age of 10. I mean,
yeah,
with your body and with your mind and everything, really. And there was no girl to help you through that. Was that not?
Well, maybe that's why I'm quite bloke-like in a way.
Fair enough.
That my dad was really amazing, and he really, I remember, should I tell you the most awful story about I had quite big boobs when I was quite young, which was, when you're young and you've got big boobs, you're really mortified about it and don't want them because you just want to be like everyone else. So I had these quite big boobs, so I had to go and get a bra, and we went into Marks and Spencer's. I went with my dad, who had an umbrella that he was walking with. This umbrella had quite a boomy voice, and he went into Marks and Spencer's, and I was kind of shuffling behind him. And he came in, and he said to the shop assistant, this really loud voice, "I'd like an extremely large bra for this child." Literally, I was like, what, poking his umbrella out in front of him. I was like, literally just could have died. It was so embarrassing.
So when you were 10 and you lost your mum, what was going on in your mind then?
Well, I think we went away to a hotel, and I never understood why, because we didn't really go on holidays, but we went to this hotel in the New Forest for 2 nights, and my mother and father got up and went for long walks a lot, which I was very out of character. But I realised she'd been told that there's no more care that she could be.
Did you realise
given.
then? Did you realise
no, now. I mean, later I realised. But so that was why they'd gone to this hotel, presumably. I think my grandfather, one of the grandfathers or someone paid for it or something. I'm not really quite sure. Anyway, we went to this hotel and we came back, and then that night she said, will you read me a book? I was really bad at reading. So she said, will you read to me? So I read to her, and then she fell asleep. And then I thought she'd fallen asleep. And then the next morning, she didn't wake up. And so my dad got the doctor, and they said, I overheard the doctor say she won't wake up again. And so my dad took Dick and I up the road to some friends who were lovely, who had a farm up the road. They were really lovely. And we went there and kind of were there for the day. And then my dad, he arrived in the car and undid the window and said, she's gone.
That's made me feel very sad.
Yeah, then you kind of have to move on quite quick because there's, well, you don't.
Life moves far.
I had to just go, okay, and you just have to get on with today because today is the only thing you can deal with. And I think it's later down the line that it sinks in that it's forever. It's quite difficult to get your head around forever when you're 10. You're just like,
It's really sad. And what's weird is that I don't have anything to compare it to. Like I've never.
no, and that's good.
Yeah, and I think that that's something that I think you've. I don't think you wanted us to. I think that you didn't want.
You can't really control it, can you? We're just so lucky. You
can't. And we've been very fortunate in the sense that we haven't had to, had to go through
Yeah,
it.
you have. I mean, I guess what it does is I think it makes you go into yourself quite a lot and you kind of get used to having quite a good barrier up to how because I'm not sure you ever really trust yourself to deal with it. Does that make sense? So you just kind of like bury it. As Dad says, sweep it under the carpet.
Yeah.
I do have a little bit of a tendency to sweep things under the carpet, which, as Dad always says, it's my coping mechanism, but it is probably true. Sometimes if you open up the box and have a look at how you feel, that's just not okay. Much better to shut it down again. Sweep it under the carpet and pretend it's all fine.
Yeah,
that's definitely not advice that you should be giving out to the podcast listeners, Mum.
No, that is also true.
It's a really terrible idea to sweep it under the carpet, and it makes your life much harder.
Do you not really like talking about it too much in detail?
Not massively.
I can sort of see why you wouldn't like talking about
Oh,
that.
right, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so can I.
I do remember before my mother died, she was really upset a few times, and I now recognise, afterwards I recognise why she was upset, but I didn't understand it at the time. And when she was upset one day, she said, "One day you'll just forget me and will never remember me." And I thought, why would I do that? So I went, "No, I'll never forget you. What are you talking about?" But I do remember because I thought it was such a weird thing for someone to say. But obviously now I understand why she said that. But I don't think we're talking about her now, aren't we? So that was really important to me that
Her
she
memory
wasn't.
lived on.
You spoke
forgotten.
about you. I remember you speaking about her a lot when we were younger. I remember that, Granny Ann was very, very much part of my childhood. I think you spoke about it all the time. You obviously you'd look up
literally all the time.
You'd look up at the stars and say, Granny Ann's looking down on you, which I think is really sweet.
Did I? I don't
Yeah,
remember
you
that.
did. You did a lot of that. I genuinely thought that you had known her your entire life. Like that's how it seemed.
Granny Ann's always watching over you, which I thought was nice. And then again, you get to that 13, 14 stage and you go, God, I really hope not. But then, do you know what I mean?
No, Billy.
Please, turn away, go and make a cup of tea or something, please. Honestly. Shame, the shame.
But I think it does occur to me when you lose somebody, they don't have to actually go, do they? Do you know what I mean? Because actually, I often think you have great friends that you might see every year or 2 years, so you don't see them all the time. So as long as you talk about them and think about them, and if you think about them, they weirdly sort of answer you because you sort of know them, so you know what they're. Normally, you're actually just asking a question you know the answer to already, but you can actually have a conversation with them.
I've got one more question. After you lost your mum, your dad remarried, and was that a really difficult? Because I know a lot of people struggle with step parents, and I know that some people it fills a void that that your parent left. I wanted to know how that was for you.
it definitely, you can't replace your mother.
No, obviously,
That's never going to happen. Well, people manage to, but you can't replace.
I don't think they. I don't think they replace. I think they kind of.
But you can fill the void with someone else.
Someone else takes their place. It doesn't replace. I think it's just
you can't replace somebody. They're never ever. They're not able to be replaced.
Yeah.
But I was really lucky because Boo, who was my first stepmother, got another stepmother now who's lovely. But she came along when I was 12, so a couple of years later. She was quite a lot older.
Did that not feel quite soon? 2 years after.
It's a long time to watch your father grieve.
Yeah.
Actually,
was that a hard part? But was it hard watching your dad grieve?
Yeah,
and your brother grieve?
It's much worse watching somebody else in pain than being in pain yourself.
Did he slowly stop grieving when he met?
Yeah, he was very good at covering stuff up, my dad. But I do remember just after we'd been to this hotel, he had his office in one of his sheds. So I went into I was so lucky when I was a child because he worked from home and his office was in the shed. Yeah. And I went in and he was sitting at his desk in floods of tears. Yeah. And the camera was open and he'd forgotten to put a film in.
Oh, I remember you said that, yeah.
So he didn't have any photos from the holiday. Yeah.
Oh, I do remember you talking about that. That's, horrible. But
it's probably the only time I've really seen my dad cry. Now, look, it's making me cry. Isn't that pathetic?
So I'm sort of welling up as well a little bit.
It's 40 years ago, It's fine. Pathetic. Back under the carpet, it goes.
Yeah. What legacy has your mum left in your life, would you say?
Gratitude. That's probably the biggest thing. I'm grateful that I'm alive. I'm grateful that I can watch you guys grow up. My mother didn't see her children at your age, and I'm grateful that I can see that. I'm grateful for loads of things. I'm kind of grateful that she had breast cancer when she did, and so many other people did. So they found a cure so that I could get better from breast cancer. I think that she died and wasn't able to see her grandchildren so that I can survive and see mine.
Yeah. Which I think she would do again.
Oh, bless her. Yeah. Bless you. Do you know, and also the other thing is I know, would have been glad it was her and not me. And in the same way as, it was the right way round, just way too young. And it was really hard on my dad. And, but, really, it's just one of those things. Gratitude, that's what I'd say to you guys. Feel grateful for everything. Feel grateful for everything without having to go through the grief and the loss.
Yeah.
But the fact that you're still here and you're still with us and healthy, really, I should be much more grateful for that. I should be much more grateful for that.
The thing is, when I'm reminded that I should be grateful, I'm unbelievably grateful for it. But my brain isn't wired in a way that I think about how grateful I am all the time, because it's not something that I'll take it for granted, because it's not something that I've ever experienced not having. So what's the...
No, but I don't think it would hurt. Here's my advice to you is every day, at some point in the day, either just before you go to sleep, when you're lying in bed or when you're lying in the bath, think about all the amazing things that you have and how it could not be like that. Mm-hmm. And think, no, I'm going to make the most of today, because you never know when something might happen and you just wish you could go back a day. Mm-hmm. So, let's move on to something cheerier. You look really depressed.
We're going to cheer it up, and after the break, we're going to be talking about robot girlfriends. So it's not really robot girlfriends. It's more about like AI girlfriends and boyfriends. So you have like an AI companion, basically.
Okay, so
someone that you can speak to online that's AI generated, kind of like a Siri. You know what Siri is?
Yeah.
You can speak to, and it would be like
Alexa.
Yeah, like an
But
Alexa.
it's a romantic
But it can be a
coupling.
romantic interest. I mean, you can kind of. I think they do.
I personally-
I think dirty talk on the side, but it's more for companionship. But I'm kind of with you. I can see you're looking at me really confused. And you're like,
I kind of think that the difference between a friend and a girlfriend or boyfriend is the fact you snog them and you have sex with
No,
them.
that's not true. That's not true. It's all about rizzing them up.
What?
It's all about, putting your hand on your head like this, and going,
No, it's not.
hey, that's why. That's
No, it's not. No, the difference between a relationship and not a relationship is sex, and
It's
you can't have
literally-
sex with an AI.
is it literally just the sex though? So you would be like, for example,
Well, then they're just a
you
friend.
would go. So you go out and have like a romantic dinner with your friend and drink like a glass of wine and like be romantic and stuff with a friend. Would you?
I would call it romantic.
Found
yeah.
a loophole in your
I would go with a friend. I'd go-
candlelit dinner with your friend, eating.
Yeah.
What's that aphrodisiac food? Is it lobster?
Oysters.
Or oysters are
Love
disgusting.
but I feel like a boyfriend or a girlfriend offers you more security as well and companionship than a friend does.
No, you need friends. You
No,
need
I don't. Well, kind of. Yes.
Yes, that is true. And hugging a boyfriend or a girlfriend is it's more than hugging a friend.
I'll give you a bit of history on it. So AI, like boyfriends and girlfriends, aren't just a sci-fi concept anymore. They're a growing industry. People are forming real emotional attachments to AI chatbots, custom built to be romantic partners. These AI companions can text your day, remember your details about your life, and even offer emotional support, all without the drama of a real relationship.
Well, I guess that's sounding quite good, isn't it?
Yeah.
But, no,
It's quite weird.
But I'm trying to see it from
Yeah.
I'm trying to see it from the other perspective. So obviously, a real relationship, there are lots of complexities to it. There are this and that. And potentially having someone
I just don't see how I can
check up on you on a text every day and you be able to tell them stuff about your life and then be able to text you might be quite nice. Look, I'm holding my hands up. I don't think it's a very healthy thing, and I don't think it's a very I'm not going to say normal because I don't think
sounds like it is normal.
I don't think. Well,
I do get it because it's basically taking all the problems out of a relationship.
Yeah, but that makes a relationship a relationship.
That's
though.
my problem with it.
My problem with it, there is a person that's definitely not looking like your AI girlfriend that has created ones and zeros to make your AI girlfriend. And then there's someone in a factory that's made your computer. And then you're just like, there's no actual person there apart from the people that made it. That's so.
Yes.
So this is.
That's
When I speak to Alexa, I don't feel like I'm talking to Alexa. I feel like I'm
talking to your love.
She is pretty curvy, spherical. Maybe I see it actually. Maybe I can sympathise.
The concept of it took off in the 2010s, but it really exploded when apps like Replica launched in 2017, offering users the ability to create AI friends or partners with personality traits, voices, and even virtual intimacy options. And by the 2020s, AI romance was no longer just a niche internet thing. People were openly discussing falling in love with their chatbots, and some even claim to have married their AI partners. Now, look, I just want to come on and just say this. I think we give these people too much airtime. I think, honestly, I think that if you're saying that you're in love with your chatbot, I think you need to. Do you not remember that TV show that came out with that guy that was in love with his car? And he was like kissing his car and stuff. And I'm just going, look, the fact that you even let him on television is slightly the problem.
I do agree. I think just do that
He's
quietly.
clearly kissing his car for some attention. And then they had a big breakup and he was, distraught. And they were like, brilliant, let's make another TV show about this. Stop.
Yeah, just stop.
But
He's clearly got some pretty deep-rooted issues. Don't make him do that.
Yeah.
Same with that girl who was like addicted to drinking paint. Does absolutely nothing for you.
I
so
agree.
bad for you.
Don't give them
She's poisoning
attention.
her liver but she's
Yeah.
clearly doing it because she wants to, she wants to have some attention. And if
you're right, you need to not give them attention. Like naughty children, you just ignore them when they behave badly, and then they stop doing it.
Why do you care so much whether someone marries their AI romantic partner? Why is it? How does it affect you in any way?
It doesn't affect me. It's just so stupid.
You're seeming pretty stupid right now.
No, it's not. It's just like
Let them marry their AI partner.
Marry whoever you want. Just like I'm not going to get upset about that bloke who was marrying his car. I'm just going
But you seem pretty upset about
AI.
it. Really.
Look, do whatever you want. I'm not here to judge anyone or tell anyone to do anything. Especially,
you have just judged and told everyone what to do.
I've just said I'm not here. I don't like to judge, and I do not care what your sexual orientation is, what you identify as. But if you are married to an AI partner, I think that you should break up with them immediately and get in the
Oh my God.
I'm joking. I am actually joking. Look,
We do need to make sure
honestly,
it doesn't. Seriously though, we need to make sure it doesn't catch on, because there would be no more people.
I mean, in the future, who knows what? Everyone says AI is going to be the future, and I think that having an AI companion probably will be quite good. And I imagine in the future you're going to have some kind of robot companion thing as well. But what happens if people started having sex with their robot companions? Because people are already marrying their AI partners. Imagine what's going to happen when you've got a physical robot. You should see some of the sex dolls they're creating nowadays with surround sound system and like
What?
speakers and stuff.
I think for me, I need to do things for other people, and I like people to do things for me. And that is what love is. So I can't see how an AI relationship would ever work for me, because I couldn't do anything for them. I mean, they could do something for me because they could check that I was okay and, remind me about that. I can see how they could do something for me, but I just don't see how
people text back going, and how was your day, to the AI robot?
I guess so, but they don't care because they're just a robot.
But that's the point. And actually, they don't care about how your day was.
No.
They're just asking. But that's an interesting point to make, is that if you're going to be with someone or in a relationship with someone and they ask you how your day was, they probably do care because they're interested in your
And
life.
if you
They want
tell
to know
someone something that's sad.
And if they say something sad, they'll go, okay, and then they react to that and they can go, or if they do something happy, they can celebrate with you.
Yeah.
Whereas an AI is just doing it because it's been programmed
It's a response to you.
But then actually, if you don't have someone to talk to, it might be quite nice to just vent in the same way that people have diaries. It's like a more interactive diary.
I think it's the term. That's to me. I think if you think about it as a kind of interactive diary, then I can sort of see how that would be. There's a place for that. I think it's a thought of muddling it up with marriage.
They can offer you advice as well.
There's a difference, isn't there? Because, say you had an AI relationship and you went, I don't know, blah, blah, I got a promotion today. There's a massive difference between coming back with congratulations with a congratulations emoji and then seeing in the eyes of someone that you live with or that you're romantically involved with, their eyes light up and then going, oh my God, congratulations.
Yeah.
They're two very different things. And although they are both the same, they're,
They are
Yeah,
quite
but if you're
different.
going back to have a microwave meal and sit by yourself in front of the TV with no one to tell that you got a promotion, it would probably be better to go congratulations with a...
But life is
I
full
agree.
of ups and downs.
I agree.
If you tell
In the
someone
same
you've
way
had a
that it
good
would be
day or a
better
bad
to
day-
go, promotion today in your diary, that would probably feel a bit better than just going, yeah.
I agree with you. And I think if there's a place
If
for
you had a shit day,
I think
it would be the same. You could go, oh, well, here's a cup of tea. We can stop this. Whereas the AI would just go, oh, I'm sorry. I don't know much about it.
I
but
think
just
if it makes
think
people
that it was
happy,
interesting.
then that's great.
But the thing is, AI could provide you with, so if you said I had a shit day, AI could provide you with...
Here's pictures of cats. Here's videos of kittens.
Yeah, it could do that, or because it's collected your data, so it could tell you why you're amazing, why you shouldn't be sad, what you have to live for. It can do that. It can help you in the same way that a person could. It just can't give you a sense of actual kind of
No,
being.
it can't.
All you need to remember is that AI is different to real life. And if you get a bit of comfort from it, that's cool. But remember that you need to experience real life, because otherwise you're going to be really isolated, and that's a depressing place to be.
Yeah, and don't kid yourself that it's filling the gap of interacting
Real
with other
human
human
communication.
beings, because it's not,
Yeah.
and because it is one-sided, and that's okay if that makes you feel good. But just get out as well.
So we're not going to have a new AI stepdad then?
Unlikely. No, I quite like your dad, so I'll stay married
He's
to
all
him.
right.
He's all right.
Yeah, he's not bad.
And now he's a rock star with you guys.
He's a good guy.
Even cooler.
He's a good guy. He's a chill guy.
He's a good kid.
After the break, we're going to take a listener question. So this is the part of the show where we take a question from one of you listeners. And this week, the question is, I wondered if any of you have any thoughts on the paranormal. Are you believers, complete skeptic, or a bit in between?
To be honest, me personally, I definitely don't believe in any form of paranormal activity. It would, for me, it's kind of been made up in films and books and stuff. It would be a bit like believing in How to Train Your Dragon. For me.
Can I be totally honest with you? I've never actually given it a great deal of thought.
I can't believe in it because I think it's such nonsense. But I'm slightly envious of people who do believe in it.
I'm not.
But
Imagine how terrifying going to sleep with turning your light off would be.
Oh, that is
It'd be
true.
terrible.
I've always wanted to see a ghost, and apparently, because I sort of think, well, if there's a ghost, why don't they come out and talk to me? So
The scariest
Why are
thing.
they always evil though? That's my question. Why are ghosts always haunting?
there's
why-
loads of
Casper?
things that don't
Casper's
stack up.
a good ghost.
Surely that
Casper
would
was.
be the main thing you would want to do as a ghost. No,
Is be
you
evil.
go to your favourite football club, like just an example. Go to your favourite football club, and when the ball's just going just over the bar, just tap it slightly so it goes in.
Actually, you're
Genius.
right.
That would be a
That's
far
genius.
better use
Paranormal people, if you're listening,
than going and going,
Yeah.
whoa.
Hull City
Yeah.
need all the help they can get at the moment.
Do you believe in anything slightly more spiritual then? Do you believe in kind of a little bit like not necessarily paranormal and gods and stuff, but maybe like Avatar?
No, I don't.
Like
we can't see different types of radiation.
that's
I
kind of
tell
my
you what
point.
I do
that's
think.
my point is you can't see radiation. And when I
We can only
die-
see one very small proportion of the electromagnetic spectrum.
when I die, if I get put in the ground and I go under, my nutrients will be used to be some kind of maybe be eaten by a worm, or maybe which will then be eaten by a crow,
Yeah.
or maybe that earth will then turn into nutrients to allow a tree to grow.
Yeah, I think
And
this
so
is
I
a
think
different.
there's a kind of energy flowing around the place that I think that no one sees, but there's a definite energy that we have in us and trees have, and we all have a bit of energy. I think.
I do agree with that, but that is a conversation for another day.
I'm not sure we all have energy.
Not an
No,
energy,
I do.
but-
I agree.
Energy cannot be created or destroyed, though. This is all science.
Yeah, energy cannot be created
Yeah.
or destroyed, merely
This is all-
transferred
no,
through.
you can't say science and then go like this and pretend that it's
and say you don't
paranormal.
believe in paranormal.
No,
By the
I
way,
just think
for everyone
that's-
listening, he's wiggling his fingers around in front of his face.
No, I just think that's interesting that the energy through me will be transferred and it's eternal.
My God, Billy.
Oh God.
You're turning your nose up at the idea that like, oh, everything's connected. Like, oh, there's no such thing as like spirituality and like,
They're completely different subjects.
But then me saying that everything is connected and energy is flowing through me, and it might flow into the tree when I,
Is that a ghost?
No, I'm not saying it's a ghost. I'm just saying that it's on the same wavelength. It's
No.
not
I'm really
overseeing
glad
shit.
that I don't believe in paranormal activity, because the scariest thing that could ever come after me is probably a bear. And that's it. That's the most scared I'm ever going to be.
What about a shark in the water?
A shark in the water. There we go.
Or crocodile
And a bear on
if
land.
If you're in the swamp.
Or a crocodile if I'm in a swamp. Yeah.
Can I tell you?
But I'm never going to have kind of someone
ghost.
with claws that come out of his fingers
Yeah.
try and eat me.
Yeah.
If someone was famously haunted, yes, I would have my doubts because I would be second guessing myself. But genuinely, I would believe that I could stay the night there. Right now, I believe that I could stay the night there and I wouldn't die. But yes, I'd probably be scared.
Yeah, of course you'll be scared.
I don't think I'd be scared.
No, I probably wouldn't be scared. Pathetic.
I'd be scared.
But listen, listen to this, because this is when I do think that I believe in paranormal activity. When you're at the bottom of the stairs and the light switch for the light on the stairs is at the bottom of the stairs. So you turned all the lights off downstairs. You have to turn off the light for the stairs and run up the stairs. And when you turn the light off, my brain does go, people are chasing you. People are in the dark behind you. People are chasing you.
Do you grow out of that?
No, I still haven't yet.
I haven't.
In my bed. If
I thought I would.
I'd feel like turn off the light and it's like,
What do you think the ghoulies are going to get you?
no.
Well, there's just that subconscious, like, you have to run up the stairs and then you're like, because there's just someone that's just about to grab you.
Sometimes when I go for like a run in the dark, I'll go for a run in the dark just because I can push myself harder. Because if I like work my mind up, I can be like, Slender Man's about to come out of that hedge over there, and I'll sprint.
Both need therapy.
So why do we find like swamp scary? Because there could be alligators in them.
No,
Why
it's
do we
not
find
that. It's the unknown. I think people find the unknown scary. So when we were living in caveman times, in the dark, that could be you. I mean, you might have a fire, but you couldn't see into the dark. So it was the unknown. So anything could have been there. So it could have been a predator. It could have been a massive woolly mammoth, or it could have been a saber-toothed tiger. Admittedly, there aren't a lot of those around here anymore. But I
Do you think
that's
that
still
because people have
intrinsically-
told ghost stories forever?
Yeah.
And do you think the ghost stories were a warning against people going out into the dark? 'Cause, I mean, you could fall off a cliff, couldn't you,
Yeah.
if you don't know? So, that bearing in mind they didn't have torches, so you needed to not go in the dark because you couldn't see anything. So, do you think it was just a way of keeping people out of danger?
Yeah.
or maybe they are real. I want to believe in vampires,
Same.
I'm afraid they aren't
Same.
true, darling. I'm
but
sorry
they're
about
as
that.
true as ghosts.
Yeah, I'm
I
not.
really want to believe in vampires
I'd
because one day
rather-
I will get bit, and I'm hoping that it's.
You won't be a good vampire. You're too blonde to be a vampire.
Can you not be blonde if you're a vampire?
No, you have to have black hair.
What about
You have
the
to have long, black, straight hair. be
what
very
about the
pale.
Cullenses? One of them was blonde.
I think I'd rather believe in How to Train Your Dragon, if that's okay, because I'd love to have a flying dragon. So in the first part of today's show, we talked about death in the family, how we process loss, support each other, and have those difficult but important conversations. If you or someone you know is struggling with grief and bereavement, Cruise Bereavement Support is a fantastic organisation offering free, confidential help to anyone dealing with loss. They provide helplines, local support groups, and one-to-one counselling to help people navigate grief in their own way. You can find out more at cruise.org.uk. For parents who need guidance on how to talk to children about death, Winston's Wish is a brilliant charity dedicated to supporting bereaved children and young people. They offer age-appropriate advice, practical resources, and a free helpline for families going through loss. Visit winstonswish.org for support.
I just wanted to say one thing on the podcast. If ghosts are real, please can you not come and get me for not believing in you? I just thought as a safety net, I just needed to say it. So I'm sorry, guys, if you are real.
Actually, could you not come and get me either?
Yeah, I see. all of us hating on it, now apologising to the ghosts.
Try me.
You're going to regret that, boy.
Yeah, you won't sleep a wink tonight. Thanks very much, boys.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll let you on next week.
Oh, thank you. I look forward to it. If you'd like to submit a topic for us to discuss, please email us. The address is mail@seriouslywithsarahbeeny.co.uk. Seriously was created by me, your host, Sarah Beeny, and our producer, Jonathan Profaska. The show is recorded and edited by Jonathan Profaska and Christian Kay.